Welcome to Shomach Shava on the Daf Shir sponsor Nishma Asar Yakashom Le'abas Yitzchok. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Chov Beis. The Gemara, starting from the end of Chov Aleph on Beis, going to Chov Beis and Mud Aleph, says that there is an opinion that at the time of Ezra, the Ksav, the script, changed. It used to be Ksav Ivri, and it changed to be Ksav Ashuri. And the Gemara brings in the top of Chov Beis and Mud Aleph the pasuk that says Ksav HaNishtavon, because the script changed. And the Gemara says, Lama nikra Ashuri, so why is it called Ksav Ashuri? She'olo imoy Moshe, came from them, went from Ashur when they came from Bavel. And this is a pele otzum ad lemoid, to say that the Ksav that was given to Am Yisrael, to get the Torah that was given to Am Yisrael, had a different script. And there's many questions on that. The Gemara tells us that the mem and the samech shebeluchos b'nei sayoimdim, because they're a round or a circle and they don't have the middle. So it was a miracle that we're able to have this hole in the luchos. So the Rishonim already asked, the Ritva brings it in Megillah. But if you hold that the Ksav changed, so in the time of the luchos, it wasn't the script of Ksav Ashuri that has a box or a circle for mem and samech. And we know that all the Ksav Ashuri that we have, each one has the tagim, and the tagim has tilim shel halachos, and the tzura of those series is such an important tzura. And there is Seidos and Kabbalah, which is Tamun every ois of the Torah. How can it be that we didn't have Ksav Ashuri, the Ksav of the Sefer Torah, before? So the Ritva in Megillah Daf Beis and Beis, and also the Ritbaz in Tshuva Chelek Gimel Siman Taf Taf Pei Gimel, who's ma'ich very much on this inyan. And very similar, the Maharal says in Tiferes Yisrael Perek Samech Daled, and mentions over here in the Chidush HaGodos. They all say the same idea. They all say that Avadai, the Luchos HaKadosh Baruch Hu gained from Shamayim, that was Ksav Ashuri. That was the font, the script, was exactly as we have today in the Sefer Torah. But says the Ritva, because of the Gedusha of this Ksav, they didn't use it. It wasn't the one that we're using when they wrote their own Sfarim and their own letters. They had to use a different font, a different script. And they got used to this other script that they did not know Ksav Ashuri. The Ritbaz adds, he says, probably nobody saw that Ksav, because Moshe Rabbeinu came down from the mountain. He brought the Luchos, and the Luchos were in the Aron. Nobody saw the Ksav. The Ritbaz continues on to bring a Yerushalmi that's mashma, that even the Luchos maybe had the script of Ivri. So he says, the Ritbaz, that may be Luchos Shnios. I mean, after Moshe Rabbeinu broke Luchos Rishonos, so the Luchos Shnios maybe did not have the Ksav. But the Luchos Rishonos definitely had Ksav Ashuri. And that was the original Ksav that was given from Sinai. But they didn't use it, not in the Sefer Torah, and not in their own things that they had. That's why it wasn't, people did not know it. People did not recognize it. Until the time of Daniel, and when Ezra came from Bavel, there it says that finally they saw the fact the Malach used this script that showed them that right now they could come and use it. Now what's really the pshat that from the time of Ezra Hasofer, now we start using Ksav Ashuri? So the Ritbaz says simple, he says, we know the Gemara tells us over here that Ezra was Roy for him to bring the Torah. He was like the level of Moshe Rabbeinu that he could bring the Torah. So instead of bringing the Torah, he brought the Ksav. But the Maharal explains more. The Maharal says that Moshe Rabbeinu gave Am Yisrael the Torah on the level of dibur, of talking. And Ezra gave the Torah to Am Yisrael in the level of ksiva, of writing. The Maharal Chidush HaGodos over here adds to it. He says, because in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, we had Nevuah. So our communication with HaKadosh Baruch Hu was through dibur. So immediately, what we had from Torah, Be'ikar, was the dibur, not the ksiva. That's why the ksiva was not as important. The ksiva was not as focused on, because we had this direct dibur, a direct channel to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But when the time of Ezra Hasofer and on, when we get to Bais Sheni, there's no more Nevi'im. Many say that Ezra is the last Navi. So from here on, what is our communication with HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Is the communication of ksiva. And therefore the ksiva becomes so important. Ezra is giving us the koyach ksiva of the Torah. We have to add to this the Gra, the Vilna Gaon, in the beginning of Sefer Tetzniuso. And he explains the difference between a Sefer and a Sipur. That's the Lashon of Sefer Yetzirah. Sefer is the written the written word, and the sipur is the talked word. He says like this: when you have a talking, so the person who's talking, the person who's listening, they immediately have a communication, because the one who's talking is talking to one who's listening. So it comes in one shot. By ksiva is two different stages. Stage number one has to write something. Stage number two, the one who reads it needs to understand what was written. It's not happening together. My Rebbe Ramesh Shapir explained a little bit more. So by dibur, it's a relationship between the talker and the one who's listening. By ksiva, there's a little bit of a separation. One can write one thing, and the one who reads it can understand it completely differently. They each one stand alone. There's a little more of a separation. So Yimela, what the Maharal is telling us is, in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, Tersha Bechtav, there's a direct communication with Kodesh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. The dibur is the ikar. But in the time in Ezra and on, we have to go and base ourselves on what's written, because we don't have a dibur anymore. So now we change it to ksiva. Now we change it to the era of Tersha Baal Peh, where there's a little bit of a separation between Nois and Torah and giver of the Torah, and we have to come and understand the written word. So that's why now the ksiva became so chashuv. Now we went up to Ksav Ashuri. And it's davar niflo that we're learning this daf on Ches Tevis Tavshin Pehei. And the yard set of Ezra Hasofer is on Tes Tevis, as we say in the Slichas of Asar B'Tevis. It's the time of Ezra Hasofer. Now we're learning this inyan of the Ezra Hasofer's Milo, or bringing the Milo of the ksiva. Anyone who wants to join the Shomach Shava email list to WhatsApp, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.